Good morning, my esteemed followers. We shall be continuing with our series on data analysis and business intelligence. Today, we shall be focusing on data modeling and ETL, creating of views to aggregate multiple sources of data to just one table. So sit back as we navigate the journey together. So as we can see on the screen, this is exactly where we stopped the last time. We were able to create an SSS package SSI package that we dealt with currency. So we were able to move currency from the source, which was the adventure works, to the environment, which of course we navigated and were able to create the expected database on staging. This is the currency that we created that day. We were able to equally populate it. This is exactly what we did that last time, which means from the Adventure Works 2019, which is the primary source of the data, we were able to move the currency from there. You can see says currency. We're able to move it. So if this says currency were to be in other locations, other forms of databases, for file formats, this is the same way we will bring them on board to our staging environment. Like we said the other day, the reason for this staging is because the transactional database is very volatile. We cannot build our report on top of that. So we need to first and foremost move all this data to a centralized location. And don't forget a particular dimension or a particular entity. For instance, we are talking about customer may have feeds across multiple tables. So your reporting cannot depend on such situation. You need to bring all this data, all the information across the table to one table. So when you now have that, then the data warehouse can sit on it and be rest assured of data consistencies and order. So that is exactly what where we stopped last time. So today we shall, if time permit us, we shall be looking at the following. Don't forget, we have a data modeling that we're following based on the requirement, sales by territory. The end user want to see their various sales over time across the various territories or where they have their stores or outlets. So we should be able to create a simple package, SSI package, for a customer. If time permits us, we will go to employee as well. For instance, a customer, based on the normalization of the database we are using, we have a customer table, and a customer is a person. We have persons table. We have person's address table, which means for you to get a particular customer, you must pull information across these tables. So how do we go about it? These tables must first and foremost be uploaded to your staging environment before you can now create a view from it to aggregate all this data to one table. It is from this table your data warehouse will be consuming from. So that is the approach of data engineering when it comes to SSIS packages. So we shall go straight. Let's see what we have for the data modeling. We said from the source, these are the feeds we're interested in. We're interested in the account number of a customer, the title, the name, the middle, and all these things, the address. We're interested in them. So if you look at the source, the primary source of our information, you discover that we have a customer table, we have persons table. So from customers table, we're going to get the account number and any other information. But For persons table, that is where we'll get the title, the first name, middle name, last name. From person's address, that is where we're going to get the address information, the city, and the rest. So when we are done, based on the view we are going to create, we'll make sure we have this table, the names as they are here, because this is exactly what the data warehouse dimension and facts will be using. So when I make dimension again, I'm looking at the what you want to use to analyze your sales. We want to analyze sales by customer, for instance. Where does this customer purchase this item? Which customer did you sell the items, the products to? That is a dimension. It's an angle from which you want to view your sales. The same thing you can say employee. Who is the employee that made that sales? We're interested in it to say, okay, this employee you have, your outlet has the highest sales and the rest. The product, what are the products that were sold? You want to view your sales from it, from that angle. The territory you are interested in, which territory were these products purchased? So these are the data modeling that I carefully brought out from that database. So we shall move ahead now to bring in all these tables. Like I said, we're going to bring customer into it. We bring person into it and the rest. Let's see how we can use SSIS package to bring all these things and create a view over it. So please sit back. So from the screen, this is exactly where we stopped the last time. So let's add a new SSIS package. Let's label this customer. This is what you're seeing here. I think this, what I put here, the customer, is not supposed to be here. Let's remove this. This is, we have not got into dimension. Let's carefully, okay, let me label this as a customer. Okay, all right. So click on the same customer. Let's come to data flow task. Before then, we said because we want a situation where by duplicate will not be accepted, we have to try to truncate that table. So let's label this truncate source is in source customer. Truncate source customer table is what we intend to achieve with this. So we've not created a table, no need for us to pick it here yet. So let's come here. This data flow task. Let's need DFT load the, let's say, underscore source customer. So which means whenever a user or anybody that is going through your code sees this, he knows what we are talking about. So now let's move to where we can pick the source of our data and the destination. Like we rightly said, we are dealing with Microsoft SQL Server. It's an OLEDB, which is better for us to access it. This is the source. So where is our destination at the end of the day? Well, it's still OLEDB. So don't forget it last time, because we already created a connection string for both. We created a connection string for both the source and destination. Otherwise, we would have been doing it again. So let's label this as OLEDB. Okay. So let's label this OLEDB. Okay. All right. I already selected it. Sorry. OLEDB. OLEDB says It's going to load the let me see, says space source customer. It's going to load the source says. So this is the destination. We label it only DB, DST, DST, DST. That's destination source customer. We are putting source because we have a schema that we designed before. Have a schema designed before. So let's save. So what are we intending to do? Let's pick customer from the adventure table. Double click this. Let's see, there's no connection here. Let's move to, we have connection, and then we created connection from this adventure work. This is the source where we intend to get that particular table from, which is a sales customer. Let's see if we can have a customer here. Okay, you can have sales customer. As you can see on the screen, we have sales. We have sales customer. Okay, this one we pick from. Now, realize that we don't have the destination table yet. If you look at this, our source, which is the staging we're creating, there's no customer here. So we need to create it. So how do we go about that? We come here. The connection string will change because this time we are going to the staging. We're going to staging, which is where we are trying to aggregate all the tables we're interested in. Do we have the table there already? We don't have. So we can use this opportunity to create it. Okay. We can create it from here. We can create it from the Visual Management Studio environment as well. So let's remove this. Like I said before, we have a schema. Remember, we created a schema source. So this is where it is expected to go. Source of this. Let's try to create this here. If you create it, it might show error, but it's created. Select table of view from the drop down. So it has been created. When we check the database now, for instance, let's see whether we see anything customer there. Check the table. You can see customer table is created. So we will pick it from here. Pick the same customer. Then once that is done, you need to check the mapping. It's very, very important. Okay, from here you can see everything is mapped. Otherwise, there will be some issues. So let's say it's mapped, which means we are done bringing the customer table there. So if we view the customer table, what are the items we're actually going to see there? These are part of the analysis. You must make sure what your report want to depend on. So you can see account number is there based on what we have. This account number is the main important thing there. We equally have the ID. Like I say, it's a person and all the rest. So let's move on quickly. All right. The next thing is to see, let's run this. Okay, let's go to the data flow to pick the, to ask it to delete from this. Let's pick this. We can just type it here. Truncate, truncate, truncate table, truncate table, put it here. You run it to make sure there's no mistake here. Okay, which means we are right. So this is exactly what we will take to the data flow transaction, which is, don't forget we got it here, to execute a task. So we said, yes, it's still an OLEDB. It has not changed. What connection? We need to be very careful here. We are going to stage it so that we won't go and pick the source where our data actually supposed to be coming from. That will be very, very costly. So this is the statement we are looking at here. All right. Okay. implement this. So we have brought in one table. I brought in one table. The next thing is for us to try to run it to see if there is error or not. So if we look at the table from database, this customer table, we don't expect to see anything yet. So let's try to run and see if everything is well with it. So at the end of the day, okay, it has run. Let's check the database. Okay, we can see some items here. So because of this truncate I'll put here, even if you run it 100 times, it will not have a duplicate record. So that is it. We have brought in customer. So based on the model, we have to bring person into it as well. So what can we do to avoid wasting much of our time? We can decide to copy and paste, but we must be careful to change certain things. And copy, paste. I've duplicated customer. Let me change this to person since it's part of what is required. Person. So this is a person. So we need to, like I said, we need to be careful that first this truncate, we have to change it to that person so that when you run this package, it will not go and be deleting a different table. We need to be very, very careful here. So I can relabel this to load source. Let it load person for me, where I'm going to get the title and the rest. Let's see when we go further, we're going to relay this load source person, load source person. Then this one itself will be the real person, the person table. So that is how it goes. Okay. So if I come here, I'm going to take advantage of the connection string, but this time I will change the table. Which table am I going to? I have a person. I have person table. You can see person. If you pick this, you check the column. You can see the title, the first name, last name. This is what we are expecting. So pick it, and at this stage, you are seeing this error because we copied it and some feeds does not exist from there. So these feeds, as you can see, account number and all these things, they are not part of this table. So it's going to throw error. For that reason, you just click this to delete those items that are not there. So we need to have a person table as well. So how do we go about it for this destination? We double click, takes us here. You can see it's still pointing to this, but we're going to take advantage of the connection string. So what we do, we are looking at a new table. We click on this. So you can see these are what is coming from the source. You can see the first name, last name, and the rest. So what do we need? We just need source.person, like what we did before. So we're going to have source.person, source.person. So if you look at what we can create it from here, we can copy it out again. So if we come to the database, you discover that we will have a table called person right now. You can see persons here. So we can now equally pick from that person. You can see the person. You check the mapping. Okay, you can see some of them are not mapped, which will be an issue when you start migrating data. They won't know from source where they will align it with at the destination. So we can go by this way, business entity. You can go this way. Otherwise, you can equally just pick from here to here. These are part of the styles of linking. It's very direct. You can put title to title. So the good part of it, anyone that you've linked is out of the drop down. So this is the first name. But if you mistakenly go and link first name to last name and the rest, that is how it will be. when it is running. His middle name, his last name, we have the surface, we have the email, promotion, we have the contact, and the demography. So, which means all of them, they have been linked. If you look at this table at the top, you see all of them, they've been linked. So, this is it. So, having done this, we need to go back to the control. We must not forget this. The name of the table is a person. So we have to be very careful about the names. That's why you see me, I try to copy it manually so that I won't go and make mistake in the table name. So I can, for the truncate, I can come here and click. This is what I want to replace. I can just replace it with what I copied. I replace it. We are good to go. So next, we are going to test this to see whether it runs. So let's right click the person, execute. So one thing we must know, all these things, when they are deployed, you will not have a personal interaction or manual interaction with them. So automatically it will be running by scheduler. Okay, it has run. Let's check the database if we have any item there. This is the person's table. All right, you can see we have about 19,000 persons there. We have brought in, based on our data modeling, we have brought in customer, we brought in person. The next thing is person address. So let's bring this, then we create the aggregate and move ahead. Okay, all right. We will equally duplicate any of this. We can duplicate this person, like I said, so we can take advantage of certain things like the connection string and the rest. Pick this, come to pass, and say paste. So we're interested in person address. So let's see how this goes. So I've copied the duplicated person. We just label this as call it okay. Can call it person address. Call it person address. Because they expected you to get the address of the person. Okay, this is it. Alright, okay. Why am I seeing customer here? Is it wrong nomenclature? Oh, truncate customer. Let's see this. I didn't truncate person. I didn't change this name before. So we need to be very careful when duplicating so that mistake will not be introduced. Okay, so let's call this one address, rename source, truncate says person address. This person address. This one will truncate it, but no, this one will still be pointing to a person. So we need to come and change it later. We must not forget. Like I said, otherwise, once it start running automatically, some tables that any table that is pointing to will be truncated. You will not even know because it's very possible that the package is running last and the package that's supposed to populate it has already run. That will be a major issue. Okay, so this is I call this source load source person address. We are loading that from Adventure. Then this should be the name of the table itself, person address in the source in the staging environment. So when we click on this, like I said, you can see we are still taking advantage of the Adventure Work Connection string. But let's look for person address. We have person. You have person email address. Okay, you can have person address, which is even from person email address. But here is the address of the person we are looking at. That is the address 102 city. So when you check the columns, you can see city, you can see address 102. So we don't want to have information about the the customer, address of the customer. So like I said before, some columns does not exist. That's why you are seeing this issue. So we need to get rid of them. You can see all these columns, they have no business with this particular table. So I remove it. Now we move straight to the destination. It's still pointing to person, but we need the person address, not a person table again. So this is the same way we will carefully delete it. Let because of our schema that's already there, source dot. Okay. Once this is done, the table is created. So the destination where we want to load it to now, we can have a person address. You can see person address there. And we check the mapping again. You can see some items are marked, some are not marked. And this is not automatic. We have a address ID. We have address one. So somebody might be asking, how come you have a customer, the table is not containing the address and others? And this is where normalization of database comes in. You because it's properly normalized, you discover that it is we have simplicity, we have consistency of data. When you are talking of you're updating a particular address ID and the rest now, you don't have any business with the customer table. So it's enable you to separate your work or the aspect you need to face. So it's a bit database that is well broken down. So this postal code, this okay. All right. So you can see from the top to all of them have been mapped. So this is exactly what we're expected to do. So let's quickly see the table again and copy. Where is my person address? I have it already. Refresh. Where is the person address? Okay, this person address. Nothing there. Okay. So let me just take this. Let's go and do the truncate. Control C. Let's go to the truncate. Go to the truncate tool. Go to data flow. Make sure this is changed. Otherwise, you can come here to do this change as well. Control V. I have to create space there. Okay, so it's this. So this, when you run it now, you're expected to see data from the destination. Like we see here, nothing is here. Okay, let's execute it, let it run, see the outcome. All right, it has run. We expected that it has moved the data from the source to this location. Run it, okay, you can see data inside. All right, so based on what we just said, haven't moved all these items, haven't moved all these tables from the source. I mean, yes, from the adventure works to the staging, having all these items, we now need to form a view that this the data warehouse will take from. The data warehouse where you will have the dimension and facts cannot be navigating among these three tables. So you need to take the information from single source. That is next we need to do right now. So watch out and see how we do that. So we are going to use select statement as seen on the screen. So what I'm saying, select from customer with alias C, left join source.person P, alias P, on customer, we have customer ID, we have the business entity. Customer ID in customer table is equivalent to the business entity ID in persons table. So if you look at what we are having here, if you look at this table, this person, you can look at, let's script this person, the person, you can see business entity. So this business entity is what is being represented as the customer in customer table. Customer table, you have it as Okay, okay. This customer ID. This customer ID is equivalent to what we are having here as business entity ID. So when you move to personal address too, customer ID is what they refer to as the address ID. So if you come to personal address, you have the same. You have the address ID. So this is how the three are being marked: the address ID, the customer ID, then you talk of the business entity. So that is what link the three, a common item that link the three together. So that is exactly what I have done here. Use a join query to see. Let's run to see whether we have items there. Okay, yeah, we have some items there. So, but we are not there yet because there are names we are expecting. We are expected to have this customer. I expected to have this customer. Okay, customer ID, which is account number here. We need to change. We need to explicitly put all these names here. So let's equally look at that briefly. Okay. So I've equally tried to bring the names based on what we require from the data model. We have the title, the first name, you have the customer ID. So this is exactly what I have brought out here. So from customer C, I have account number and I'm labeling it as customer ID. From a person, I have title, I have the first name, the middle name, the last name. From address, I have address one, address two, then city. Okay, I think I did not put city. All right, let me put city because city is equally required. So I've added city. You can see ad.city because when you check the address table, you have city. You have address one, address two, then city. So I just brought the city into it. So this is exactly what we are going to be using to form the view. So let's see how the view will equally be created. So I've just added a little line here, create view, source customer view, as in you're going to use all these things to create the view. So in all these things that we are doing, when you are creating view, make sure that is under, you pick the destination, pick the database that you're interested in. Otherwise, it will go to the wrong database. So if you check here, there is no customer view here. So I can come here to pick this and create. Let's assume it run. Okay. I think it's okay. Let me refresh this. You can see customer view here. So this customer view is exactly what your dimension table will take from. So if I pick it now, if I run it, it will pick across those tables, those three tables that I used, the person, the customer, the address. You can see all of them here. So this is how you can carefully pick data across various tables to form one, which your data warehouse needs. So you might, at this point, somebody might be asking, where is this customer key? Why is it not there? This customer key, the same way you will see with this employee key, they are very, very unique to dimension table. But we are not doing it here because this is not dimension package. When we are creating dimension package, you will discover that we are going to take from this source, which is what you are seeing here. Our source will be here. So we are going to create a destination in our data warehouse that will have all these feeds. At that point, we will now create this because this feed you are seeing is what will be represented in the fact table that will be working with sales. So this is all time can permit us to take today. Like I said, I am going to work on the rest for employees. For instance, I'm going to work on employees. I'm going to work on a product. I'm going to work on sales territory. Next time when we see, you will see all of them. But it is very important I show you this because this is the same approach we will take for all of them that have multiple tables. If you see employee now, we have a employee. We already have person in that environment now. We have a person email address. We have department. All these tables, we have to aggregate it to form this particular item we are looking at. So that is what we are going to do for all of them. So thank you once again for your time. As part of my promise, I'm going to upload the database, the the view queries, the code itself, so that once you get there, you anywhere you are confused, you can go and download it from my repo, and you'll be able to skate through. So the next time we'll be meeting, I'm going to be discussing the dimension, how the dimension will be formed from this particular view. So thank you for your time once again. Please, as usual, kindly visit my site, like my post, make positive comments, and subscribe. Refer to friends. That is a way of encouraging me. I'm just giving it back to the society. So thank you once again. We'll see you next time. God bless.